السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته حبايبنا طلبة وطالبات صف تاسع متقدم grade 9 advance مستمرين في final revision in physics. Question 36. Depending on the velocity time graph, this is velocity time graph for the motion made by Rashid on a bicycle. Rashid begins his motion to the north. What is the time interval that Rashid moves at a constant velocity? At a constant velocity, what is the time interval? Look to this figure. The slope equal what? The slope equal acceleration. Why acceleration? Because it's a velocity time graph. This is accelerated. Acceleration is positive. This also is accelerated. Acceleration is negative. But this line segment not accelerated. Acceleration equals 0. If the acceleration equals 0, it means the object move with what? With constant velocity. So Rashid move with constant velocity between time equal 8 seconds to time equal 20 seconds. This is the time interval, so that from t equal 8 seconds to t equal 20 seconds. This is what? This is the time interval when the Rashid move with a constant velocity. Okay? Calculate the acceleration of Rashid's motion during the time interval 20 seconds to 24 seconds. Where is 20 seconds? Yes. Where is 24 seconds? This is. We can take 2 points at 20 seconds. This point is 20 and 8. What about 24? 24 and 4. I hope you know what I do. I can calculate the slope for this line segment from this number and get the acceleration. Acceleration equal slope equal y2 minus y1 divide x2 minus x1. y2 is what? Is 4. y1 is 8. Divide x2 is 24 minus 20. Use your calculator or your mind. 24 minus 20. The answer will be negative 1 meter per second square. Can we write it? V final minus V initial divide T final minus T initial. Yes, we can write it like that. Calculate the magnitude of displacement of Rashid from 0 second to 28 second. A displacement equal area under the graph. If you look to this graph, he need total displacement from 0 to 28. So that I need to calculate this area and this area and this area. I have 3 areas, 3 different areas. Area number 1, number 2, number 3. We can write it like that. Number 1 is delta x1. Number 2, delta x2. Number 3 is delta x3. And add them together. Delta x1 is, I make it smaller like that. Delta x1 is what? Triangle. 1/2 base times height. 1/2 times base. This distance from 8 to 0, it will 8. The height, this distance. The height, this distance is 8. Equal 32 meter. The first displacement is 32 meter. What about the next second displacement? It's rectangle. Yes, delta x2 equal L times width, length of width equal the length, this length from 20 to 8, it means 20 minus 8. 20 minus 8 multiplied by the width is 8 also. It means 12 times 8, 96 meter. The third displacement is triangle again. So that delta x3 equal 1/2 base times height, 1/2 times the base is 28 minus 20. Multiply by height, the same height is 8. Then the answer will be 28 minus 20, it will be 8. 8 times 8, it will be 32 meter, like first displacement. Now if I add all of these numbers together, I get the total displacement will equal 32 plus 96 plus 32. The answer will be 160 meter. This is the answer. The next question is, depending on the motion of the vehicle in the figure, which of the following is true for the vehicle motion? As you look, this is the start, this is the end. If I draw arrows like that, first arrow from this point to this point, the length gets smaller and smaller, then smaller again, smaller again. This is car move with constant velocity or moved faster or what? Yes, I hear someone said the car moved slower. The speeding decreases. Also, this image, the next figure of a toy car movement according to this figure. What is the figure called? This figure called what? All images, magnifying form, sequential images, or particle model. This is the particle model. Particle model, when I draw dotted like that to represent the motion. To represent the motion, it's called particle model. Which is the correct description of the car movement? It doesn't move. No, it moves but slowing down. Is it correct? Yes. Speed increases, speed constant, speed decreases. I think speed is decreases. The correct answer. The next question is, depending on velocity time graph, I know VT graph, slope equal acceleration. Okay, depending on the velocity time graph for an object motion, what is acceleration of the object from 1.5 second to 4.5 second? At 1.5 I put dot. At 4.5 second I put another dot. I can write the line segment between these 2 points and calculate the slope for this line. I think it's correct, yes. Or we can take the coordinate for 2 points, for these 2 points. This is 1.5 and what? 1.5, and this is 25, 10, 15, yes, 5. What about 4.5? And what 4.5? like 55, I think 55. Acceleration equal y2 minus y1, 55 minus 5 divide 4.5 divide minus 1.5. The answer will be 15 meter per second square. Inshallah it will be correct. The same question but different number, you can do it with yourself. A key falls to the ground from the edge of the window. It reached the ground after 2.5 seconds. This is the time. The time taken to reach to the ground is 2.5 seconds. What is the height of the window from the ground? Neglect air resistance. Okay, it falls, it means V initial equals 0. V initial equals 0. It take time 2.5. And the acceleration equal gravitational acceleration. We can write it negative 9.81 meter per second square. He asked about height or delta y. You can write it delta x or whatever. As you see, the numbers is positive, 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 so that delta y we must calculate it in positive. Delta y in free fall equal VIT plus 1/2 GT square. V initial is 0, so that this parameter will be 0. Delta y as absolute value equal the absolute of 1/2 times negative 9.81 times 2.5 squared. The answer will be what? 1/2 times 9.81 times 2.5 squared. The answer will be 30.67. We can write it 31 meter. Why we make it in absolute value? Because the answer is positive, so that the height will be positive. A ball starts at rest. Start at rest. V initial equals 0. In free fall for 4 seconds, t equal 4 seconds. What is the displacement delta y? He gave me the answer in negative, so that I will calculate it as a negative. After 2.1 seconds, this is the time. What about this time? We will not use it yet, because he asked me the displacement after 2.1 seconds. We will use 2.5. This is not acceptable in this question. So that the given is V initial equals 0. Delta y, we asked about it. Time is 2.1 second. G is negative 9.81. The same equation, we write it from little. Delta y equal V initial times t plus 1/2 gt squared. Delta y equal V initial times t 0, bye bye, and 1/2 times negative 9.81 times time 2.1 squared. Maybe acceleration will equal 10 in your exam, I don't know what it will be. 0.59 negative 9.81 times 2.1 square. The answer will be negative 21.6. It's 22 meter, negative 22 meter. The next question, this question, I can solve it above of the question, okay? Okay. The final position of a ball motion is given from the equation. If you remember, we write three equations before. V final equal V initial plus AT. V final squared equal V initial squared plus 2A delta X. Delta X equal VIT plus 1/2 AT squared. And this delta X is what? X final minus X initial equal V initial T plus 1/2 AT squared. Is it correct? Yes. We can take X initial position to the right side. It will be in positive, so that X final equal X initial plus VIT plus 1/2 AT squared. Look to this equation, he write it. X final and X final. Yes, I write it my equation above of this equation. Okay, I write it. X final equal X initial plus VI multiply by T plus 1/2 AT squared. 1/2 AT squared. If you look to this equation, you will find what? X initial is 0.7. V initial is 3. 1/2 A equal to. He asked about what? He asked about initial velocity. VI is 3. Is it correct? And the initial position is 0.7. So that the answer will 3 meter per second, 0.7. The answer will be B. The same equation, the same question to the next time in the next one. I write it again. X final equal X initial plus VI multiply by T plus 1/2 AT square. ال X initial 0.5, ال V initial 2, ال 1/2 A equal 4. Half A equal 4. Yes? He asked about acceleration. Yes, I can take this. ال 1/2 A equal 4. So that A equal 2 times 4. I multiply by 2 in both sides to get what? Acceleration equal 8 meter per second square. He asked about acceleration 8 meter per second square, initial position 0.5. So that the answer will be number A. He write E, no problem, this is the answer. No, this is the answer. 8 meter per second square acceleration. The initial position is what? 0.5. I take 18 minutes till now. Okay, there are two balls in glass box, no air resistance on the ground as shown in the figure. If the two balls start falling together, which of the following is correct for the two balls? These two balls will reach to the surface at the same time. Okay, because the both balls accelerated under gravitational acceleration. So the balls reach the ground surface together. Yes, this is the correct answer. They reach at the same time. The same question for two balls. The acceleration for M1 is greater, acceleration for M1 and M2 is equal. The acceleration is equal because the balls move under gravitational acceleration. The acceleration equal G equal -9.81 meter per second square. the last, not last question. This is the reading depending on this one. If you look, this reading is what? 3.5. Is it correct? Yes. In the middle between 3 and 4. It will be 3.5. This is the accurate. What about uncertainty number? Okay, it's easy. Uncertainty number, I need to know this digit equal what? This digit equal what? How can we calculate it, mister? It's very easy. Look to this. To reach from 0 to 1, how many jumps I will do it? I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will make 5 jumps. So that each digit will equal 1 over 5, 0.2. It means each digit, the smallest digit is 0.2. الuncertainty number equal 0.2 divided 2, it will 0.1. And the reading is 3.5. So that my answer will be 0.5 plus or minus 0.1 ampere. This unit measure the current. The next one, a ball is thrown straight up for a 0.2 meter above the ground. The ball reaches the maximum height 3 meter above the straight point and then fall 5 meter to the ground. We need to draw it. I have the ball move up from point 2 and reach to point 5. Why? Because it's moved 3 meter up. 3 meter up. The distance up is 3 meter. Delta x1 equal 3 meter. Then it fall down from this position for what? For 5 meter down. It reached from this point to this point to 0, from 5 to 0. So that delta x2, it will be negative 5 meter because it's down. What is the displacement? Delta x equal delta x1 plus delta x2 equal 3 plus negative 5 will negative 2 meter. It means 2 meter to down, 2 meter blue. The last question, I think it's last. The figure show a box on a horizontal surface. Which of the following best to describe velocity and acceleration? Vector of the box moving along the x surface to the left with increasing speed. If the speed increasing, acceleration and the velocity in the same direction. If the object increasing in speed, a vector and v vector in the same direction. In the same what? In the same direction. So that we will search about two vectors in the same direction. LV to the left, A to the left. Yes, number 1. Thank you so much. I hope it will be useful for you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.